Hey guys, so in this video we are going to run the Skinny Tumbler actions. So I'm on Mac. It doesn't matter if you're on Mac or Windows, they work in exactly the same way. It just looks a little bit different, and if you're on Windows you're going to be going to your C drive for your main actions folder. If you're on Mac you'll be going to desktop for it. Other than that, using them and running them is exactly the same. Like I say, just a little bit of a difference in look on Mac and Windows, but using them and running them is the same. So we can change the background color, we can do the background gradient color, and we can change all the background images. So if that's too much for you, don't worry, because they'll run on their own without any changes like that. So first of all, we're going to run them without any changes, and then I'll show you how you can edit the background color, the gradient, and you can change the background images. So the first thing you need to do, ideally with Photoshop already open, is go into your main folder. Remember, if you're on Windows, that'll be in C drive. We're on Mac here, so I'm going to my desktop. Go to your Art PSDs folder and open up the Skinny Tumbler Art PSD. We can right click on it and open with Photoshop. On Windows, that option is further down, or we can double click on it, which is my preferred way and the easiest way. Or within Photoshop we can go File, Open, and you can browse your computer for the files there. You'll need to see your Windows panel open over here on the right hand side. If you don't see that, just go to Window. You can uncheck anything between 3D and version history and make sure you've got layers checked. We do also need to see our actions panel. I like to click these two little tiny arrows here. If you don't see those two little arrows for any reason, you can click Window and select actions from here, which pops out a panel. And your panel, if it's the first time you've done it, may be compressed like this, so you can grab the bottom of it and move it down. Your actions will almost certainly look different to mine here, so don't worry that mine look different. You will have one installed that says designs4pod.com actions, Skinny Tumbler's Save Art. If I can expand this. No. Skinny Tumbler's Save Art, that says. No, I can't expand it. See if I can expand it from here. Here we go. Skinny Tumbler Save Art and Skinny Tumblers Volume 1. Okay, now you can merge these with, if you've got my other actions, you can merge them in with the others. That's totally optional and up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a Skinny Tumbler design. So you will want to get one of your designs. I've got example one over here. And all you need to do is drag and drop it into the Skinny Tumbler Art PSD template. Okay, and if it needs resizing, it will be in free transform when you drag it in, which means you've got these handles here, these square square blocks that you can just click and grab and resize and fit to the canvas area as needed. If you've done any repositioning, you can either press return or enter, or you can just click over here in this empty area and it will place that design. So once you placed it, all you need to do is run the actions. So we highlight the Save Art, hold down Shift and highlight the volume that you want to run, which is in this case Skinny Tumblers Volume 1, and then right at the bottom you can hit the play icon down there. Okay, so then if I skip back to my main folder and go and have a look in Published Mockups, Skinny Tumblers Volume 1, and just give it a moment. It always slows it up when I'm screen recording. Okay, here we go. So it started running, so you can see it's working now. So it's now adding those designs to the Skinny Tumbler, and it, of course, it shows the one single design wrapped around the Skinny Tumbler there like that. Okay, so we'll just give this a moment for it to run. Okay, so you've got 10 backgrounds, a gradient down here, and a solid color down here, which is set to white. So if you don't change your backgrounds and you don't change the background color, these are the backgrounds you're going to have. This will be the gradient that you're going to have, and the solid color one will be just a white background like that. Okay, so that's just straightforward running them. You can run them, if you're running them fast and multiple, what I recommend is you copy this. Let me just back up. Let's say you're running a lot of designs, and by the way, you can drop in a whole load of designs here into your art template, and you can keep turning the eyes off on the layers, and you can run again. And if you're running multiple ones, what I recommend, if you go into your Published Mockups folder, you run the action, you copy the published folder and paste it, and then you just rename this the new design name. So Monster energy. Okay, and then you can run your action again and they'll get dumped into the Skinny Tumblers volume 1, and then you can copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and just keep running your actions. So I'm just going to delete that one. So let's take a look at changing the background color, the gradient, and the background image. Now to do this, we've got to be a little bit careful. So what we need to do is go into the mockup PSDs folder, the Skinny Tumblers volume 1 PSDs folder, and we're going to edit this PSD here. So with actions, we have to be careful when we open the PSDs and close the PSDs. We can't rename any of the folders, files, or layers within the PSD. Or we'll break the actions. So what I recommend you do is you right click and you copy this PSD and you paste it here, okay, and you just leave it there. And after you change your background images and make your edits, if you break your actions and they don't work, then what you can do is delete this original one, and then you can rename this one by removing the added copy, and then your actions will run again. So you're essentially just making a little backup of this one as it is, and then you can always put it back if you need to. Okay, so I'm just going to delete it. I'm pretty confident that I can do this without breaking it. So what I'm going to do is double click this PSD to open it up. Okay, so remember what I said, when we edit one of these PSDs that the actions have already been made for, we have to be careful editing. So before you do anything, cast your eye over here on the layers, and we need to look at how it is structured and which layer is highlighted. So when we put this, when we save the PSD and put it back, it is, Photoshop thinks it's exactly the same as when I created the actions. So we'll see this top layer is highlighted. All these eyes are on down to BG01. Okay, so that is how we need to put it back. If it's easier for you, you can screenshot it. Okay, so you can take a quick screenshot so you can remember how it looks. Okay, just let that screenshot pop up there. So I've now got a screenshot so I can look back at that. Okay, so whatever screenshot software you use, you can do that with. So let's take a look at changing the backgrounds first. These are the backgrounds, these layers here that says BG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So to change any of these backgrounds, all you need to do is double click in the top left hand corner of the little thumbnail there, and it opens up this new tab. Okay, so if I go back here and here, it's just like when you're in a Chrome browser or an internet browser, you've got a new tab here, and this is where we change background image number 1. So you can leave the other background in there if you want to. If you want to use it again at a later date, and all you need to do is go and get a background, whichever background you want to use. Let's go and grab one of these grunge ones, okay, and just drag and drop it in. Now here we can resize it, and you can, the checked area here is the area that will be seen, so you can drag outside of that area as well, but whatever is dragged outside of the area is not seen. So you could, like this one here has got this floor in it, which I'll try and hide a little bit, like that, so I just get more of the background. Okay, we hit the X on the little tab and hit save. Okay, and now background 1 is now changed. Okay, if we turn the eye off background 1 and the eye on background 2, just so we can see it, you don't actually need to do that. You could just change these without looking at them, but I'm going to look at them. Same thing, double click in the top left hand corner, eye off. If you mean, you could leave it on as well. Let's grab another one of these. Okay, we'll do one more after this. I won't do all 10 because you'll get the idea, they're all the same. Okay, let's drag this out. Let's get rid of that little bit up in the top corner. Click over here to place it, click close, click save. Okay, now we'll just do one more. I'm going to switch the eye on and off so I can see what's going on. Switch the other background off. Now let's use one of these because these obviously are square, and just to highlight the fact that we can use square images as long as we drag them out. And of course, depends what resolution your image is. You know, it might look a bit rough if you drag it out too much. We hit the X, we hit save. Okay, so we can go through all 10 of these background images and do that. Okay, so I'm going to switch background. Oh no, I'm going to switch it off a minute. We're going to have a look at the background color down here. So remember, it's set to white. so it'll run as white always unless you change it. So it's dead easy to change. You just double click the white thumbnail there. This brings out this color picker. We can drag around and change it to whatever color we want. Let's just go for something wild, just so you can see. Hit OK when you've chosen your background color. Just mention as well, if we double click this background color, if you're trying to like match up colors with your design or anything like that, if you drag away from there, we can get a color picker, which means we can pick a color from on the canvas area there as well if you wanted to do that. Don't know, completely optional. Okay, let's just put it like a pinky color. So that's your background color. Gradient background here. Now if we double click the thumbnail again, this brings up this box here where we can mess around with the settings, and I recommend you just play around with it and see what you can come up with. The style you can change to radial, angle, which looks terrible, reflected, so it starts in the middle and goes out. Diamond, it's kind of a diamond shape like that. Linear is probably your best one to use. You can adjust the angle as well around here if you want to make it like linear is from top to bottom or bottom to top. So if you make the angle go round, you can make it go kind of on a 45 degree if you want to. Like I say, have a play around with it. Then if we double click this bar here, this brings up loads of preset ones. So in these folders you can click, you can change it to blues, purples, greys, pinks, whatever. There's a whole load of preset ones which you can use. Just flick and change them. You can also have a mess around with these down here. You can click these little tiny blocks. That brings up a color picker as well, so you can like create your own. Let's come up here and go over to red like this, so you can create your own as well. And like I say, I recommend that you just mess around with these things and just have a little play around with them and see what you can come up with. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do is just pick some other preset one. Let's go for an orange just so we can see it. Hit OK, and that's all changed. So at this point, we need to remember how we opened the PSD so that when we close the PSD, Photoshop thinks it's exactly the same and the actions will work. So gradient was off, background layer I was on, and the top layer was selected up here. Okay, so all being well, this will run properly. So once you've made your edits, change out your backgrounds, hit the X up here and then hit save. Okay, just let that give it a moment to save. Okay, that's now saved. So I'm going to change the design in I'm now back to my Skinny Tumbler Art PSD. All I've done is switched off the other one I've dropped in and I've gone back to this one. So I'm going to highlight the save art and the Skinny Tumblers Volume 1. I'm going to hit run. And now when it runs, all being well, we will have our changed backgrounds and our changed gradient background and our changed colored background. So just give that a moment to catch itself up. It's the old, some reason Camtasia is really jamming things up these days. Okay, so you can see there's our new backgrounds that we put in. Okay, so you can get, you could take your own photographs and put those in, whatever you want. Go to Pexels, places like that, and get free backgrounds. But you can really make these much more unique to yourself, so you don't look like everyone else. Here's our new wild gradient, and here's our new funky pink background as well there. So you can change them whenever you want. Now remember, at this moment, if you ran the actions and you got like a warning flashed up because some error or another, what will happen, this will all expand here and it will stall at a certain point because it's got confused because something's changed somewhere. Okay, so you can click stop on your actions, you can minimize this, go back into your main folder, go where your mockup PSDs are, and then you will have a backup here. As long as you backed it up, you can delete the original one, put your backup one back, and it will run again and you can try it again. Okay, I think that's pretty much covers it all, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye for now.